Okay.
Hello, everyone. Happy heat wave summer, and welcome to the New York Sofalites. My name is Stephanie, and I'm here with my oldest friends, Rachel and Gretchen.
If you don't know us by now, I'm Rachel.
I'm Gretchen. I guess that might help clarify things. I just realized that we probably never say our own names. People might not know who we are.
Oh, well, if you
Yeah.
haven't been able to use context clues, I hope this helps.
If you're new here,
Yeah. And I don't know if Stephanie and I sound similar or not because we're siblings. So that might
Yeah.
help, but I don't know.
in theory, we share up to 50% of our DNA. So,
Yeah. In theory. Sometimes
Yeah.
I think it's 75. Sometimes I think it's 10%.
sometimes I'm like, do we share any?
That sounds like
Rude.
siblings. That sounds like siblings to me.
And then sometimes I'm like, no, we're basically twins. And then, yeah.
Rachel, if you don't mind me saying, she was an only child. She does have two children, though, so you're getting the sibling experience watching them.
You're getting it on the
Yeah.
other
It's so
end.
eye-opening.
Yeah, it probably is interesting. So,
But Rachel, in many ways, was like a third sister in our family. We all grew up together. So if you're new here, there's a little context, a little background.
I believe that was when our mothers, I was not born yet, but our mothers shared a nanny, right? You guys?
We
You
did
were
share a
born
nanny.
when we shared a nanny.
Okay. I thought my
I'm
mom
sure
had
you
quit.
weren't aware of what was going on, but yeah.
Yeah, probably not. But I don't remember it. So, a lot going on this week.
Anyway, there's a lot going on in the world, and we have a lot of thoughts on it. Like,
Oh
there's
my
a
God.
lot
It's
going on.
Huge weekend, you guys. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's a huge weekend.
And yeah,
what's
and
happening.
a lot of stuff, like a lot of crazy political stuff, but like we're just gonna focus on the pop culture and like entertainment side of things that we feel like talking about. So these are basically our conversations that we have with each other, and now we're just recording them and letting you listen.
Yeah, I will say that we had a nice, in my opinion, a nice win in New York City this weekend, or this last week, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cuomo got
Yeah.
trounced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was honestly surprising to everyone, and I am so happy.
Yeah.
Everybody was surprised. Cuomo was surprised, but he had a gracious comment to Zoran and said he won, he deserves it, it's his night. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Cuomo was like all bad. He definitely has issues, but I think he has glimmers of being okay. Like things like that. Like, you know.
I know there's like glimmers, and then he does other things, and you're just
Yeah.
like, you
Yeah.
shouldn't have.
I am
you shouldn't-
very
you
glad
should've
that
just
he
stayed.
did get the nomination. I think the what's the right person. Anyways, other
Yeah.
leadership news. Anna Wintour.
Oh my god!
yeah.
As of today,
This
she's
is fresh,
Yeah.
right hot off the presses, guys.
We're not breaking it, but it just broke, and we're talking about it. Yeah, she's stepping down as editor-in-chief of Vogue, which is, I mean, I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm surprised. I thought they'd have to drag her out in a body bag, and I don't mean that in a rude way. I just felt like she was going to be like a Supreme Court justice and just sort of like die on the job. And then
I kind of thought
then
so,
we'd
too.
move on.
Yeah.
I felt that way in that I felt like she would be omnipresent in our lives,
yeah.
but I think that she will be because she's stepping down as editor-in-chief of Vogue, but she will remain chief content officer of Condé Nast Global. So whoever is the next editor-in-chief of Vogue will work for her still.
Yeah.
See what she did there?
And so does everybody else. So I think this is just it's the next step in her master plan, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder
Nice
who will
one,
take it
Anna.
on. wonder
I
who will
know.
take it, yeah.
I know. Who do
think
we
that-
think?
Vogue is like, you know, when like people get really, really wealthy and they like buy a huge mansion, but they keep their like little apartment just in case. Like, I feel like
That's
the
what she
editor in
did.
chief of Vogue position was like her little apartment that she was keeping just because of like sentimentality. But like the Condé Nast Global was her mansion, and now she's decided it's okay to let it go.
Probably, yeah. That sounds about right.
I think that's smart, and I
yeah.
hope that she left the door open for another female editor-in-chief at Vogue. I mean, they've had
Yeah.
a long history of female editors-in-chief, so I think it'll be fine, but...
I was gonna say, I hope they carry on with that tradition. I mean, why change it now at this moment in time, you know?
Yeah.
Well, this is what I worry about, because this moment in time is a little bit sus, so...
I know, and also, there is a lot of, like, pop culture stuff going on in the world, as AKA, the Bezos Lauren Sanchez wedding in Venice. And I thought it was interesting timing that Anna dropped that bombshell as everyone's arriving for that wedding in Venice. Like,
Oh, and
I don't know.
Wait,
she could
am
have waited
I-
till next week.
She could have, but doesn't Vogue have an exclusive on the Bezos wedding?
Oh, does it?
I think they were trying. I think they wanted that. The Bezos wanted that. But I don't know if they got that exclusive. They very well may have, but I just don't know. Last I heard they were like angling for that, but
I probably like 10 years ago I would have said, no, Vogue wouldn't do that, but I feel like they might do that. They might be like, sure, well,
Yeah, I feel
They're
like
getting
they
more
definitely would. Vogue, like,
They've
you
gotten
know, I
more
never like to
tabloid,
say
yeah.
nice things about Vogue.
well, they've just become very tabloidy in terms of their cover stories, and they've always been like a little bit of like a tabloidy town and country type thing. But I always liked like the fashion spreads and
well,
editorials.
since Ms. Wintour took over, I feel like
I mean, like in the late 90s, it was still very model oriented, I feel like, in early 2000s.
it has gotten more like celeb
Yeah.
oriented. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I
but
think that's Anna's influence. I think she knows
For sure.
how to sell magazines and now
Yeah.
ad space and everything
Yeah.
like that.
I mean, she's
Especially
just
as
following
paper is
yeah.
on its way out, right? She's
Yeah.
figured like
She's definitely following what works. But yeah, I mean, I guess growing up, I read a lot of Vogue because our mom got Vogue, and
me
pretty
too.
much never read them, but we would read them.
I know. I think she liked looking at the fashion spreads,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like there's a point that you get to when like you like to read as a kid and like you go through all the books and then you're like Vogue's on the table, and you just
Yeah.
start like you pick it up, you open it up, and I remember like my mom. She might have been on the phone with your mom, Rachel, and she caught me reading Vogue, and she's like, "Oh no, they say this isn't good for kids because it creates like, you know, false expectations for the adulthood and reality." And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think,
Looking back, it sure did, but
yeah, I think
We
the
were
thing
all
something was
victims of
gonna.
that.
yeah, I mean, that was going to happen probably. But, like, I think in terms of what I got from Vogue as, like, a very naive kid is, number one, I didn't realize that everyone who was writing a piece about their lives or their makeup or whatever, 95% of them were already rich and famous, or the daughter of someone famous, or the wife of someone. And that kind of threw me off a little bit. It's like, oh, this is not. When I figured that out, like, you know, like Plum Sykes was like a big figure, and I think her parents were something, or she had a lot of money. But once in a while, you'd hit like a really good, like nice story about an obscure artist or some like archival, like fashion moment that I really appreciated as a kid, and it helped me a lot for sure. Reading it now, it doesn't feel quite as poignant. I think it's definitely, obviously I've changed, but it definitely feels a little bit more like it's always been a little keeping up with the Joneses a little bit. Joneses a little bit, but like
It is. I mean, you have
Yeah.
to be now. And I
Yeah.
think that there's also a lot more like journalism bullshit
yeah,
in Vogue and in and around Vogue and all of the brands that are under the Condé Nast umbrella and just like in the world. We're not just
Yeah.
keeping up with the Joneses anymore. We're keeping up with like the New Yorker and the Atlantic and the New York Times, and
yeah,
because everybody has to be keeping up with the Joneses. Like every serious publication is also trash. So
yeah.
Yeah.
that includes Vogue.
Also, did anyone read the New Yorker issue that came out this week about it's the Hamptons issue?
No,
And it's
see? Trash.
fascinating. It's fascinating because they did a Hamptons issue in 2002 and then they did another one like all these years later. And it's really fascinating because like one of the articles is like a bunch of anonymous people talking about like they are obviously very rich, they have homes in the Hamptons, but they're talking about like how hard it is for them to keep up in the Hamptons. And
Rachel's like
Poor
poor little rich
millionaire.
people.
I know, and the way they lay it out, it feels it's hard to feel really any sort of sympathy for them, but it's interesting because it's like maybe we should talk about it at some point because they're talking about how high prices are for everything and how every restaurant has like mid food at best and everybody's
It's a big
just
problem.
posturing and trying and it sounds kind of miserable. Like that's not really, that would never be my scene personally, but
This is such
Yeah.
a good tie-in to with the Bezos wedding because I feel like what they and then you were describing is just late stage capitalism.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And there was never a more like let them eat cake moment than
Yeah.
this, like when everyone descended on Venice and like there were literal protesters like rabbling a rouse or rousing a rabble or whatever they were doing. And then the PR team for this wedding, they were like, well, the Bezos and the Sanchez's were very serious about not wanting to disturb Venice too much, but they were really insistent on us using local vendors and contractors and labor. And I was like, well, you can't really have that both ways.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Oh my
clearly you meant to disturb everything.
People were
peace.
going to be disturbed and they don't
The
care.
piece
yeah.
is gonna be disturbed. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, the people are
who are
disturbed.
they kidding? Everyone's mad. Apparently, all the locals are mad.
Well, I would be mad too. It's yeah.
I would be so mad.
And I know Venice to some extent has always been like kind of a posh adult Disney World, but like it's people also live there, and they
Yeah.
and they, not that many, but yes,
Wealthy
they do,
people live there. It's
Yeah.
very funny to see like the people that live in Venice who are going to be disturbed by this, like they're annoyed because these are like fellow rich people and they are not involved in the like American ultra rich person thing that's putting them out. Like
yeah,
True.
Probably feels
This is
gauche,
not like
feels
a-
gauche to them. Yeah.
oh, it absolutely does. Everything
Yeah.
feels gauche to Venetians.
I wonder how many people are. I don't know if this is the case. Maybe they're providing work, but how many people had to shut down their shops because during high season in Venice, because people can't get in or out or whatever, and now workers aren't working and things like that. I don't know those numbers,
Yeah.
but just a thought. Yeah.
Well, apparently well, I was gonna say the engaged couple, but apparently they're already married. They got married in the U.S. and it's official. They're just having this party out there.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense. legally,
Yeah,
I guess.
I would probably do that too. But yeah, they rented all the water taxis in the city all weekend. So people are speculating like, oh, are they gonna, be doing the wedding on their mega yacht or like whatever? But just hearing like things like that. If they rent all of the water taxis, that leaves very little room for,
Yeah.
anyone trying to. I don't know if people use them to commute. I would assume
They don't.
there's-
No, not the locals. I feel like it will put out the other tourists. And what the locals probably take issue with is that, like, the economic impact of this one wedding that is going to be taking over Venice for 3 days is not going to be equal to all of the people who will not be touristing in Venice during like the rest of their high season. So I think they would be annoyed. I don't. I
Could
think
you
it'll cause-
imagine?
Oh my god!
I'd be
Like,
very
if you,
mad.
what if, like, your dream, I mean, I have a dream to go to Venice one day. I've never been, but, like, what if you dreamed of going to Venice and, like,
Yeah, and then it
2 years
happens to
ago you
fall.
planned this trip,
Yeah,
and
I
then
know.
it turns
Yeah.
out this is the weekend.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be thrilled, personally, but
Yeah, and I wonder, like, I mean, can you even get to the island? Because if you're not staying on the island, you have to take a boat in.
Like to the city of Venice itself, or
Yeah.
you have to take a boat. Well, there's a train. You can take a train from like mainland Italy. It's not as
Really?
convenient as the boat.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
know.
When I studied abroad there, we went. Basically, what happened? This is funny. Oh, I bet this happened too. So some hotels are not supposed to do this, but if you book like a big group beforehand, like a ways beforehand, they will just suddenly cancel it because they can get more money from people coming anyways. Like if they realize they can get like sell the rooms for higher, they will just like wipe you out. They'll be like, oh, sorry, we can't do it anymore. And it's supposed to be illegal, but people do it. So that happened to my like school group. We were going there for like history class.
oh my god.
So we stayed, and we always stayed at this one. I guess they always stayed at the one hotel, the school, and so we were like the only class to ever not stay on, to stay in Venice. We had to take the boat in every day, which is fine. It was whatever.
Oh, no.
I know it was like 2 days, and it didn't matter. It was still a nice boat ride, but like, yeah,
That
it
is
was just
kind of
fine.
annoying, though, if
Yeah,
you're...
yeah.
I mean, I bet the professors were not thrilled.
No,
but-
they were very pissed. Yeah, they were on the phones yelling a lot. And,
Oh my god, that's so funny.
yeah. But, yeah.
Can we talk about the partial wedding invitation that ABC News obtained for this thing?
You guys, we have to talk about this. This like stresses
It
me
was
out.
like upsetting. Like
Yeah,
I
it
got
was
married last year, and I feel like my invitation was more beautiful than
It
was
really
1,000% more beautiful than that.
It was, oh yeah, thanks. I designed those. I forgot. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
well, they were
Gretchen
lovely.
did.
And you should go to work for the Bezos Sanchez's.
Those are really, really bad. But I
like
think
what is happening?
I think this
Like,
is Lauren Sanchez. I think she's
You think
like,
that
this
she
is-
like did it on her
She might
like
have.
Windows 98 computer? Like there was literally clip art in
I know.
this
and
invitation.
the colors,
And
the
we're sure
colors,
it's real, right? There's no.
Well, I mean,
chance.
ABC
I was convinced
News.
it was a hoax, but you're
Yeah.
right. No, I couldn't find anyone reporting that it had been a hoax or that it had
Maybe they
inauthentic.
leaked it to be bitchy, but
been to be bitchy to who? Like who?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't
To
know
be
why
bitchy to
they...
Lauren? To be bitchy to like the poor long-suffering assistant that like had
No,
to
Had
do
to
this?
make this?
to
Oh
like
my God.
people who are talking about it. I mean, like that's not the real thing, but I feel like it probably is.
It might be a decoy invite so that people don't pay attention. But
But it did say like no gifts and all this stuff, which has been
yeah,
an
but
alleged.
what if
ask.
what if they have a real invite that's like bring us gifts and this is just the public invite that's like no, donate to the Venice Fund.
But that's not what it said. It said, "Don't bring us gifts. We are going to donate." To
Oh yes, that's right.
the,
That's right. Yeah.
You know, conservation, whatever
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah, that's
what
so true.
you would hope that the original
Yes.
invitation said, but I guarantee you they leaked this because the original invitation said nothing of the kind.
Yeah. This
And people
I-
probably started calling, all of the assistants started calling
Oh.
everybody's assistants to say, like, are we expected to bring gifts? And
oh
then,
yeah.
like,
yeah.
amid, you know,
And then everyone's
protests
like
that are
protesting,
rivaling the French Revolution, they were probably like, that's not a cute look. We should
Yeah.
probably put this out. And then,
We
yeah,
should
probably.
slap together some clip art and deal with this.
Yeah.
It's probably somebody that has like an MBA in management and not in design
Literally.
who had to like throw this thing together. Like,
But I also can really see Lauren Sanchez. Like, one of the things they say that he likes about her is like everything to her is like new. And it feels like she just is very expressive with like everything is so amazing. And I feel like,
she's like
So-
a child.
yeah. So this is a very like childlike, like look at the butterflies, like kind of invite to me that I can see her being like, this is beautiful. Like, I don't think we've ever challenged. I don't think no one has accused her of having great taste. So like, I'm just
No.
saying. Yeah.
People have accused her often
No.
actually of having poor taste,
Yes,
and it's
yeah.
been like but it's
Yeah.
been something that she's always wanted to overcome.
Yeah.
Like,
I think she
such a
does want to be a
striver in that
fashion girly.
regard.
Yeah, she really does.
So yeah, so yeah, I mean, this is not the whole invitation, obviously, but I do wonder if she was like, oh, I'll make this and add it in, or someone was like, she was like, put butterflies and stuff on it to some assistant, and then she's like, perfect, and didn't run it by anyone or something. I don't know.
I just don't know how this stuff happens.
Me neither.
Like,
I don't know. I
It's
don't
like-
know
yeah,
either.
It's like when a really bad TV show goes on. It's like so many people had to have eyes on this before
Right?
it came to us.
like
how?
you would think, which is what makes me think that even still, that it's a hoax or a misdirect or something
be a misdirect,
is
yeah.
going on here. Because like,
Yeah.
you don't rent the entire city of Venice for like a $200 million wedding and have this like
Yeah, no.
clip art of the
And what is that like?
Venetian bridge.
Is that like Garamond or is that like
Or
italic
do you?
times New Roman?
Or
Like,
do you? I mean, if this is the case, then
I mean,
like-
what? Like, I don't know what to think about the future of Vogue now. Like, what's gonna happen?
what is
Well,
going to happen?
Lauren Sanchez isn't going to run it, I hope. So.
I know. I know.
Oh my God, you heard it here first, folks.
Oh my God, could you imagine?
No.
Oh my god.
I mean, no shade. She went to school for journalism.
Yeah.
She, yeah, has been. I wouldn't say like a journalist, but she has been like
In
a
the past,
a
yes,
presenter.
She was a journalist. She would be sent on interviews and stuff. But yeah, local news.
I think
local
that's-
news.
Okay, we can call her a journalist. That's
I
fine.
mean, technically
Yeah.
she was a journalist, yeah. But I am a little sad that she had so much work done to her face. She was she's still lovely. I'm not going to criticize anyone's looks, but like, and the aesthetic, she might just like the aesthetic of filler, and that's fine. But she is
I think
just
a lot
like,
of people do.
yeah. But she was very pretty. Like, she didn't need to add that and that, but like some people just love it, and that's okay too. But like, I just don't want that.
But do you
to
think
be-
that will be a hindrance to her if she wants to go back into journalism, or what? You just
I don't
like
think
are
she's
like,
going
I don't
back
like
to
this
work.
look.
I just don't like the look, I guess. But like, yeah, I mean, I guess it could be a hindrance because it also just feels like, you know, as the person who wore like a bra to the I was gonna say coronation. Oh my god.
But I mean, kinda, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
understand why your brain went there.
Yeah, like I know, yeah. It just feels like, yeah, her aesthetic is not like, you know, but journalism. But now I'm challenging myself. So I'm like, what does journalism aesthetic have to be? Why can't we all wear bras? I don't know. I'm just like, yeah.
No,
Like, I'm
that's
just
very sweet. You're being so
Yeah.
generous with.
I think
this.
Katie Couric has written quite a bit about this and her guilt about the way she influenced the way female journalists feel pressured to present these days.
Okay.
Aw,
Well,
well, that's
Yeah.
good. I'm glad
Yeah.
Katie's decided to do better.
I know.
I don't
just,
know.
well, I just struggle a lot with like, you know, how much is what people do to enhance their looks, like boob job, you know, extra lip filler. How much is that just them expressing themselves and wanting to be the version of themselves that they like, and how much of that is about the male gaze, and like one feels regressive and one feels progressive, and I have no idea where to land in that sometimes, because like people can do whatever they want, and they might just like the like aesthetic of, you know, oversized things. Like, I don't know, but it just doesn't feel like I just don't know, you know. In a traditional sense, yes, it's not very journalistic, but Are we changing that? Is it good that we change that? Is it bad? I don't know. Yeah. So.
I think
Well,
it's a loaded question, right?
I
Because
know.
if people
Yeah.
are like, yeah, I know that like we don't want to be still living in an era where like you have to dress in a bland suit to
Yeah.
be taken seriously. But also, it makes me quite like if you look at all of the presenters, like the female presenters on Fox News, they're all very glamorous and very feminine,
Yes.
and they have a certain audience, and
True.
so it's coded in that way of like, you know, what you're seeing with your eyes is for the male gaze, but what you're hearing on Fox News is also for the male gaze, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's complicated. And I don't know. I think
Yeah.
that you're right. Like, we should probably be able to take, like, every part of our aesthetics back and, like, own it and not have the male gaze be a consideration. But
But
I don't
it's
know
probably
how
not
we
the world we live in. Yeah.
I don't know how we
Yeah.
do it. I think it's baby steps. I think Anna
Yeah.
Wintour is doing a great job actually in that regard because she is a boss bitch and she is fabulous, and her, you know, her aesthetic is very feminine and
Yeah.
obviously extremely stylish, and she
Yeah.
doesn't have
Yeah.
any of the problems that Lauren Sanchez has.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with being feminine or femininity. But I think, too, it's not just the male gaze that we're dealing with, it's that youth is currency for women in a way that it's not as much for men. I mean, you could point to Jeff Bezos and say, okay, like, he's super jacked right now, but he's not necessarily, he's trying to look strong, but he's not necessarily trying to look like a lot younger. Although I think he is getting some Botox and fillers.
Oh, he
and stuff.
definitely is.
But for women, it's more, like, it's not just the male gaze, it's also not looking old.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
by enhancing features and making them bigger, like, as you old, like, your features shrink. So
Yeah.
the illusion is looking younger as well.
Yeah.
Which
And
is a really big component to being taken seriously or even noticed. I mean, women over a certain age talk about becoming invisible, they feel, right? So it's also about maintaining a degree of visibility.
For sure. I think, like, for her, because it's kind of tipped the edge of being, it's like we entered the uncanny valley with her. Like, she clearly has fake boobs and fake lips. Like, we're not questioning if it's about youth. It's sort of like, are we ready to take news from someone who's, like, kind of over sexualizing herself and maybe it's not supposed to be sexual, but it kind of feels like it is. You know, and I think in theory, yes, we should. We shouldn't be afraid of being able to take someone who is sexy seriously too, you know. But I guess it does need to be baby steps in this way. I'm not sure we can jump to Lauren Sanchez and be like, well, she could do the nightly news now. You know, like, I don't think that's going to work.
I don't think
But
she's going back to work, though.
No, she doesn't have to go back to
No.
work.
She could go back to space
No.
If she wanted to.
Yeah.
if she wanted to.
After all that,
I mean, well, so here's what we know. We know a few things about who has shown up already at the Bezos Sanchez wedding. It's so cumbersome to say. I wish there was like a better, like a portmanteau of their names.
Say that at an Amazon wedding.
Oh, the Amazon wedding. Okay, that's
What
lovely.
about Bezos?
Sanchez.
Sanso. Yeah. Sanchez.
Sanzos.
Sanchez.
Either Banchez or Sansos. Or Amazon wedding.
Amazon wedding.
Prime wedding.
The Prime wedding. Oh my God.
I think the Prime wedding.
Just putting all of this out into the word cloud and we'll just see what hits. But so what we know is that some heavy hitters have shown up already. Oprah is there, and Gail is there, and the Kardashians are there, and everybody kind of showed up. They had like all of these, probably not like actual paparazzi photos, but they were kind of like made to look as if they were paparazzi photos of everyone getting off of their boats, like in their sweats from the flight and everything,
Yeah.
which was very funny. And it was like, we're having an I don't give a fuck summer. And, you know, Kim K was wearing this like Balenciaga, like, you know, with these like sweatpants and a sweatshirt. She looked really cute, actually. And Chloe was wearing like a full leopard catsuit. and that was lovely.
Yeah.
It was just, yeah, it was amazing. Oprah, I think, had her like, I guess, were they Uggs? I don't know. She had like some comfies. She had some
I
comfies
didn't
on.
see that.
Oprah and Gail.
That's cute. Well,
And-
I saw that Orlando Bloom was there, and there's rumors that Katy Perry is not attending.
She is not. No, it's not a rumor. She has said that she is not attending because she's on tour. And also they're breaking up.
Yeah.
I heard that too. And then I also heard that already Kim K and Orlando Bloom were seen making out
What already?
last night.
Was it
That's
at the
quick.
foam party?
There's a
don't
foam
know.
party.
Here's the thing that's happening is
I
that
don't know.
this might have been last week, but because the yacht was already in Venice, and I think it was Lauren Sanchez's like adult son's like either his birthday or his like graduation or something, and they hosted a foam party.
I heard about that.
And can I just tell you that there's nothing a teenage boy loves more than to have a foam party on a yacht with his mom. So
What? Yeah, what is that? Oh my
great
God.
job, Sanchez.
Yeah. Yeah.
I bet nobody felt weird.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Just the cringe of all cringe.
Oh my God. Sometimes you're just like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Honestly, though, I
hope they had fun.
love Orlando Bloom and Kim K together.
I love a fun wedding hookup for singles. Like, single people go to a wedding and
I've
You know,
never
it's
had a
fun.
wedding hookup. Never. I mean, I haven't been to enough
I
weddings.
wasn't. I wasn't saying for you specifically. I was just
I
saying,
know.
like, when it happens, I love to see it because, like, I, went as a single person to weddings, and part of the fun is you're like, ooh, I wonder, like, what other single people will be there, and
There's
then
never any other single people at weddings I go to. So
Well,
Okay.
we're getting to
I'm
that
sorry,
Stop
my
age
wedding.
where-
My wedding was.
don't
rough,
say
I
we're getting
know.
to that age. Come on, you guys. Yeah,
I'm
your
just
wedding-
saying,
we're not. My wedding, my husband, all of his friends had been married already, and he was literally the last one.
So here's what's going to start happening is you're going to start to be invited to people's second weddings soon.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
a lot of their friends will also be divorced. So
Yes.
hang in there.
Yes, hang in there. Wait for that
Um,
golden ticket, man.
Yeah,
Golden
we'll see.
ticket.
We'll see.
Maybe Orlando Bloom will be
Yeah,
at
he
one of
seems
these weddings.
messy. He seems messy.
Oh,
Remember
but
that?
he's still cute.
He's so cute. I did watch a movie recently with him in it. It was called Deep Cover. It was actually a very charming little movie.
Okay,
And it was
alright.
good. And
I think you should Google the pictures of him paddleboarding naked and then make a decision.
what, is it bad or good?
No, it's good.
Oh, it's good.
It's good stuff.
You're acting as though like Orlando Bloom has called me and is like, let's go out on a date, and I'm saying, I don't know.
I'm just saying, like, it
Just
might...
putting it out to the universe.
You're acting like Orlando Bloom is gonna be at the next wedding you're at, and I'm just saying.
I said
if
he's
was,
a little messy. He seems a little messy. Remember that time he
Oh, yeah.
got into like a yelling fight with Justin Bieber, who was like 18? And,
Oh my god, I kind of remember.
yeah.
I mean, was it clocking to him that Justin Bieber was standing on business? Because I feel like these are the questions.
Legit questions, yes.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, he seems. No, I used to think he was super cute. He is cute. He's still cute. But I just.
He's so cute.
you guys
You
are
can
like,
deal with a certain amount of messiness when you see
But can you
him
deal with someone
paddleboarding
who is
naked.
like? Can you deal with someone who is an intimate friend of the Bezoses?
No, and I also don't want to deal with Katy Perry as like a baby mama because it just seems like she's really messy too, and a
She's
little
super
bit,
messy.
She's also like messy in a bad way, where she's like a little bit like it feels like she has a tornado around her, like she's like the one in the middle.
Yeah.
of it,
She's-
essentially.
She's definitely. Oh god, how do I say it? She's not. Yeah, she's delusional.
She seems
She's
a little
like
unself-aware.
Going to a foam party with your mom. Like,
Yeah.
it's-
Yeah.
She'd be like, "What a great idea if that happened." She'd be like, "This is amazing." Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think the problem with her, like, I don't, yeah, nothing against Katy Perry except the fact that I think she's very much stuck in a headspace about where pop culture was 10 years ago, and she thinks it still is there and it's not, and she just hasn't grown with the times, and,
Yeah, that's probably legit.
That doesn't sound like someone you need in your life, period. But anyway, enough about Gretchen and Orlando Bloom.
Yeah, I'll let you know
Well,
if he calls me back. Yeah.
Yes,
I'll keep you
please let
posted.
us know
Yeah.
if he calls
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Moving on to invitations that were fabulous.
Oh.
Like
Oh.
if this like Sanchez Bezos leaked invitation was a 1, this invitation was a 100. We're talking
Yeah.
about the Jonathan Anderson Dior show invitation
Yes.
that went out to all of the people, the actually stylish people who will not be at the Bezos wedding because they will be at the Anderson show because it's taking place at the exact same time. And this invitation was
Oh.
fire. It was
Yeah.
so
Beautiful.
beautiful, and it was so like his Loewe sensibility, where he would like make these like design pieces that were like more sculpture or that like were not wearable fashion. And he's such an artist, and it was such like a little wonderful like mysterious like moment. I think the show's going to be spectacular.
Yeah. So just to clarify for those who haven't seen it, it's a ceramic plate or porcelain plate with 3 eggs on it, and the back says Dior. And is there even like time information on it?
No.
Yeah.
There was a card that came with it.
Ah, okay.
I love the imagery of the chick about to hatch from the egg.
Yeah,
It's
it
just
is
very cute.
I love
3
that.
chicks because he's men's, women's, and couture. So it's the 3 eggs.
I love that.
And I love that they're pink. They're like just the slightest blush of pink on this like white, off-white ceramic plate. Like you're about to be served something, and like the anticipation of it is the point, and he's like he's edging you a little bit. Like it's just so good.
I know. I love it. And I also
Way
think like,
more interesting than a billionaire's wedding, honestly.
yeah, no, it is. And I think like I just also love that it's like, oh, you're invited, but it's not all here, or you have to like look at the card or something, I don't know. It's just like, I love it. I thought it was really cool. And
Yeah,
if
it's a design piece. It's not just an invitation. It's not
yeah,
disposable.
yeah. If I
Yeah.
was like, I always thought if I ever got married, I'd want it to be something like that, but that also would cost like $500,000 just for the invitation, depending on how many people I invited, I guess.
Unless
But-
you do it all yourself, Gretchen. DIY.
yeah, I could. I did take 1 ceramics class, so I am.
There's some
There you
brides out there
go.
that DIY everything, and I
No,
am
it's not
so...
that bride. Oh god.
Neither was I. I was perpetually impressed by them, but I'm not that bride. If I had like 2 years to prep for a wedding, maybe, but it's just not worth it in a short period of time. You just gotta.
No, I mean
Not
you had a
DIY.
very short window. We
Yeah.
didn't have time to like throw pottery for your wedding. I apologize.
No, we
Next
didn't.
time. I do feel like I wonder who made those.
I don't know. I didn't see that the artist was credited. I mean, I guess he's the artist, or that the ceramic maker was credited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? It's actually from the brand's archives. The plate is. Yeah, at least. So.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Love
yeah.
that.
I love that, like, he was very, like, into branching out into, like, other elements of design that were not clothing and fashion at Loewe, and I think that if this is any indication, we're going to continue to see that with Dior, which I think is kind of special. Like, it's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
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 I'm
for
excited. I'm excited. I feel like Dior really needs a. I mean, I love Dior, but I feel like having this breath of fresh air, for lack of a better word term that I can think of right now, I think that's going to be great for the brand.
Yeah. I wonder if he'll be like, this will be like the Phoebe Philo, Chloe era for Dior, you know?
Ooh,
It'll be,
I
like, a
think
really
they're
iconic-
hoping so.
Yeah, yeah. I don't want to hype it up too much, but he's setting it up quite well. So
He is. He's
Yeah.
building the anticipation in
He
a really
is.
great way.
He is under a lot of pressure, though. He looks exhausted. He was at the Louis Vuitton show maybe even earlier today, and he just had this like glazed like.
Oh.
It was so
Well, his
sweet of him to
debut
want
is
to come
tomorrow.
support, but
I know.
I wonder-
Pharrell is doing an awesome job with Louis Vuitton too. I mean, just I saw
Louis
some.
Vuitton is killing it.
Yeah, I mean, I know we've talked about this before, but just looking at images from their show today, I was like, all right, he continues to kill it. Great.
Yeah.
Good
No.
job.
So a lot of fun things happening in the design and fashion world right now, which is cool.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's all really great. So more to come on that.
Yes.
I think that those were the major stories of the weekend. We're like, this is like such a teaser because we're like going into this weekend and we don't really have all of the information. We haven't obviously seen most of the craziness that's going to take place in Venice.
Yeah.
We haven't seen the Dior show, but the anticipation is incredibly palpable.
Yeah, we're
I
looking
think-
forward to it.
We're really looking forward to it. It's going to be a big weekend.
Yes.
I
Yes.
mean, yeah, is there anything else? I mean, not like, is there anything else going on in the world, but
I mean, there's a lot going on in the world, but
is there anything
let's-
else going on in the world?
Yeah, wait. We gotta wrap it up. We gotta wrap it up. Thank you everyone for joining.
And thank you as
guys.
always. Bye.
Bye everyone.
Bye.